Hey everybody, I'm Simon Harris and welcome to the latest episode of the vlog. So it's been a few weeks since I've done one of these, and that's for two main reasons. So reason number one is I've just launched a newsletter called Happy Friday, and that's been keeping me really busy. If you haven't done so already, I'll put a link in the video details, so if you want to, you can subscribe to it. I've been blown away by how successful it's been. So week one I went from like 0 to like 1,500 subscribers, so stoked about that. Obviously lots of pressure for this Friday's newsletter to make sure that I'm giving value back to the community every week, but that's been one of the things that's been keeping me busy. The other reason, and it won't be lost on most of you watching this video, is it's Q4, that most wonderful time of the year, when everyone in ad tech gets really busy, especially the guys like myself who are still kind of hands-on keyboards. So I guess being busy is a blessing and a nice problem to have, but yeah, I've had less time to do these than I normally would. Last time we spoke, we were talking about bid caching, which was a feature that I don't think buyers or most publishers were aware of, that Index Exchange had launched, and subsequently they've paused that. However, this week Index Exchange are in the trade press again, I guess you might say for all of the wrong reasons, with some fairly strong accusations about impartiality coming from some of their competitors. Very interesting topic, which I wanted to discuss today. Let's get into it. Okay, so why are Index Exchange in the trade press again? Well, it's another Ad Exchanger article. It's very well written, it's very exhaustive, there's lots of claims made in it. If you haven't read it already, I warmly recommend that you do. I'll put the link in the description so you can check it out if you haven't done so. There's a number of claims made in this article by Index Exchange's competitors around the lack of impartiality of Index Exchange's proprietary header bidding wrapper. For those of you who don't know what a wrapper is, it sits on a publisher's page. There's a number of header tag solutions nestled within it. The wrapper makes those individual header tag solutions, who are often Index Exchange's competitors, aware that there's an auction happening. It receives bid responses back from those header tags and then passes those key values, those bids, back to the publisher's ad server, which is typically a Google product. The art is formerly known as DFP. Google are very strong in that area as well. Now, the claims are fairly broad, fairly wide-ranging. Some of them are pretty substantial. So some of them claim that there's been a significant revenue loss, and I think everyone starts to get worried when claims like that are made, because obviously publishing is a really challenging industry at the moment, and I've said before and I'll say it again, for there to be a healthy programmatic ecosystem, both the buy and the sell side need to be really strong, and publishers need to be fairly rewarded for the great content that they're creating. Lots of the claims are around impartiality. So for a header wrapper solution to be fair, the tags that are nestled in the wrapper need to be made aware every single time that there's an auction taking place. They need to be called at random, so basically everyone gets a fair chance to respond, and they're not consistently timing out. And there's claims that have been made that Index are doing various things to stop their header wrapper, basically treating the tag solutions that are nestled within it fairly. Now, personally, I don't feel best placed to pass judgment on that, how valid the accusations are. Obviously, they're very concerning. What I will say is I think that the tags are configured in conjunction with publishers, so you can easily see how a publisher might want to sort of bias towards one header solution over another. I'm not saying that that's definitely the case, but you can easily see that, just as, you know, some domains work better for me when I'm optimizing, some header tag solutions might work better for a publisher, and ultimately these things are publisher configured. But that's by the by, lots of, because that's kind of my conjecture. What I will say, and this is exactly what I said after the bid caching incident, is there needs to be much clearer guidelines around how auctions should happen. Not what's technically possible. The IB Tech Lab do an incredibly good job of codifying that in the OpenRTB specs, but also like how each vendor working within an auction should behave. Like, what are the expected sets of behaviours? And I think the buy and the sell side need to come together and codify that, because otherwise stuff like this is just going to keep on happening. The ad exchange space is incredibly competitive at the moment. You've got kind of Rubicon, Index Exchange, OpenX, just to name a few, and they're all going after the same publishers. They're all competing together, and I think until we have this kind of set of codified rules around expected and ethical behaviour, stuff like this will keep happening. And to be honest, I don't think too many people want to see this stuff keep on happening. Like, it's kind of unbecoming for the industry. It casts more doubt over the programmatic ecosystem, and I think collectively we need to kind of clean up our act here, put some standards in place, and then hold people accountable to those standards. I think until people are really clear around what the rules are, this type of stuff is going to carry on happening, and buyers, myself included, don't want to see that happening. So if you're watching this and you are from an ad exchange, I really think that this is change that the industry wants to see. I think I've spoken to some people exchange side, and they're up for codifying a set of standards. So my hope is over the next 6 months that people come together and basically kind of get their acts together. Okay, that's it from me for now. Don't forget, if you've enjoyed this episode of the vlog and you haven't done so already, please hit subscribe on YouTube. If you're watching this on LinkedIn, I suspect this is going to be a divisive and hotly debated topic, so let me know what you think in the comments. As I said, happy Friday. The newsletter is in its second week. If you haven't done so already, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribed. It should be a good newsletter this week. I'm going to cover this in a lot more detail, and also some of the rumours that are flying around about Amazon this week. So it should be a good second week. Super busy at the moment, so I'm going to head back to doing some optimization, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next one.